Welcome back to Rare Elvis Photos, where we bring some of the comments to you. You notice the title of the video is a little different in a way. I mean, it is right now attack time for Priscilla fans. They are on the attack against this channel, against you users, subscribers. Nancy Lorenzo, I appreciate that. You said thank you. I never heard the story about the mortgage. He was such a kind and caring man. Elvis really was, and that's what we want to focus on when we talk about Elvis. We don't want the smear campaigns against him, like the Corrine Lord video. That was a smear campaign, like the Priscilla movie, Priscilla, which was a smear campaign versus Elvis. It didn't show him in his best light. It only showed him in his worst light. There was not happiness, laughter. There was not his kindness, his generosity. None of that. It was all about Priscilla being mopey and unhappy, and that's exactly, that's exactly what is wrong with that movie. And Priscilla fans don't want to. Here we go. Here's the Priscilla fans, and she's on here a lot. Lillian Gilbert. Elvis and Priscilla were together for 12 or 13 years, married 6 years. So you lie again. That's exactly how I picture her talking. First off, you can't say whether they were together in 59. They were there. They saw each other some months, some days. In 60, they weren't together. In 61, they weren't together. In 62, they weren't together. So we have 0 years there. 63, she came over towards the middle of the year by her birthday, or in the beginning. Hey, thanks for that, Heidi. And then, and then were they truly together? I don't know. 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. So 5 years. Then they got married forcibly, I believe, and a lot of y'all believe. And then basically she cheated on him in 68 after Lisa. That's 6 years, not 12 years. Okay? It's not about you've taken a year that they met and then a year that they divorced. Come on. That's silly. Very silly, Lillian. And then she said that movie didn't make Elvis look abusive. I didn't see any abuse. The only time he told her he wanted a trial separation at 7 months, you make up so many lies. Her fancying distractor wasn't her lover. Priscilla did want her to marry to Elvis. Come on, Elvis had so many affairs. That's probably how she talks. And Lillian, I mean, you're on here on this page arguing with the Elvis fans here that have the knowledge of it. And like I said before, it didn't make him look happy in any way. He looked like he was depressed. He looked like his whole world was Priscilla, and that ended his life. There was no Linda Thompson for, 4 years. There was no Mindy Miller. There was no happiness with his fans. It was depressing and dark, and that's exactly what Priscilla wants the fans, to think, that Elvis's whole life was Priscilla. No, Elvis's life was his fans and Lisa. Priscilla didn't matter anymore. And that's why she agreed to do that movie. That's why Lisa begged for that movie not to be made, Lillian. She begged for it not to be made. And I'm sure you don't like Lisa, and you say you like Elvis, but I doubt you like Elvis because you're a Priscilla defender. Hey, what's up, Madeline? Elvis was a giver because he had so little when he was a child. And how special it was when he did get a gift. Gladys raised him well, and it stayed with him his whole life. His need to have a sleeping partly was mostly just after that purpose of warmth and company. He had a fear of being alone, possibly because he lost his twin and felt incomplete because of that loss, and he slept with his parents in one bed most of his life. That's a very true statement there. And that was kind of bred into him. People who say otherwise are just wrong. I agree with you. That's a great comment. And Marty says, I never heard of that one. What a great soul. Now, I'm not sure whether you're talking about the getting a dime from the guy or some change and then getting his number and then paying off his mortgage, or the cop that he bought a house for down the street. Those are both amazing stories, for sure. All right, looks like we got Priscilla Defender back here. Lillian Gilbert, you are being focused on today, aren't you? I just went in there and I went ahead and screen recorded all the comments, and you just happen to be there everywhere. There you go, putting Priscilla down again. That's your whole goal here. You're worse than an old lady gossiping. Gossiping. You should probably mean that, but you said gossiping. I like that. I'm going to make that a new word. I'm gonna say gossiping every single video on a Rare with Photos now. It's a wonderful word you created there. Not gossiping, but gossiping. You know, Elvis didn't want to make love to her after she became a mother. Okay, obviously that's in Elvis in me, so it's gotta be true. No sources. Wonderful. You are a very astute researcher, Lillian. I love it. Okay, so then they got close, and one thing led to another. He says it's the affair. He said the affair was mutual. I don't believe this Joe guy in anything. Elvis was a cheater too. She took Elvis to court because he was a cheapo, is what she said, basically. A cheapo. That's basically what she's saying. Gave her $750,000. He was worth way more. She should have everything. Priscilla's a goddess, basically. So the Colonel, I like the Colonel. Gossiping Colonel. Okay, those are, I love it. I love these words. The Colonel. He was the one who decided to sell his 50s and 60s Cadillac. Stop making poo-poo up! Man, I wonder who this person is. But we got more comments from her coming up. I know it. I just know it. So wrong again. Okay? She didn't deserve anything from Elvis. First off, Elvis's career was already established. His career went downhill with Priscilla. If anything, Priscilla should have given him money. She should have worked the rest of her life to pay Elvis for all the money that he lost being married to that soul-sucking Prissy. So, it's my opinion, and I think it's the opinion of a lot of fans. All right, so Zedra, I think maybe Bayou. Okay, Bayou is pronounced bow, like the bow in both, and Liu, like inlet. So Bayou, not Bayou. I love saying Babaloo, Babaloo, Bayou, Bayou, because I don't give a crap. I just don't care. She's got zero respect for me. In fact, she's lucky when I even call her Priscilla sometimes. Prissy is probably what she should be called for the rest of her life from Elvis fans. At least on this channel, you'll see it in all the comments, right? But if you were trying to help me pronounce it, I appreciate you. I do know how to pronounce it, and there's a couple of different ways to pronounce it. There's the American way, and there's the French way. Anyhow, but I don't really care. So maybe it bothers you. I apologize if it bothers you, and you're a true Elvis fan, and you're an Elvis defender. If you're a Priscilla fan, well, that's my answer. What's up, Madeline? Hey, and by the way, thanks for sending me the email yesterday, and I did respond back to your email, Madeline. Do you have the book that the boys read and Sonny wrote? Yeah, I've read it. Elvis What Happened. I read it a long time ago, and I do have it. I don't know. I may read it. I may not. It's so full of what I don't believe were read in Sonny's true words. I believe it was that horrible author. Madeline, we sure do miss Elvis. There's a channel out there that trashes Elvis every day. It's Celebrify. Yeah, and that's why I put out videos every day to defend Elvis. And a lot of people don't like, well, mainly the Priscilla fans don't like that I have Priscilla on my videos, a couple a day. But it's necessary in order to defend Elvis against everything that she's put out there that in these movies. And I know the Elvis 2022 movie was a good thing and a bad thing. It brought Elvis to the limelight again, but that didn't make Elvis a happy person. That made him a depressive, dark person too. Claire Barber was a player. She needs to stay away. Riley is too nice. She will try and control her. It's true. I mean, the fact that she got up there and cackled herself away for 15 minutes in Memphis, once again, whether it was planned, whether it was not, whether she was invited, but then she hopped up on stage, I don't know. I really don't. What I do know that is everything that she added to that conversation was a negative to Lisa in a sense, because she was basically trying to showboat. Hey, I haven't heard that specific story, but it doesn't surprise me. Elvis was wonderful that way. That's a great comment. She was trying to showboat and show how much she knew about Lisa. So I wouldn't doubt that she's going to answer all of these charges against her about being a bad mother and allowing the abuse to happen for Michael Edwards in this upcoming book that she's writing to profit more off of not really Elvis fans, because most Elvis fans won't buy the book. Haven't heard about the Cadillacs at Cheryl. Also, I've not heard that one. He was one of a kind for sure. Yeah, totally. Elvis was amazing. And Elvis and Kathy book is a nice little light shined on Elvis from another source. Not that we need another source, but that's just another source. Joanne Klingman, hey Joanne. Elvis, since you've been reading the wonderful book Elvis and Kathy, have you thought about interviewing Kathy? She's very private. I've tried to reach out to her so far. I haven't heard back. That would be great to hear. No, I haven't seen the videos and how generous Elvis. No, I have seen the videos, of course, on how generous Elvis was, but not some of these heartwarming stories. Well, you know, I'm so glad to be able to bring it to you. I was glad to read them. And Melissa says, I have never heard this story. Yeah, I was really surprised and happy just to see just the addition, and I don't want to say to his legend, but the addition to the story of who Elvis was, truly. In his, oh, we're back to Lillian. What's going on, Lillian? On the Elvis and Kathy, you said, Priscilla took him to court after the settlement of $750,000, which was given to her at her divorce. He was being cheap, El Cheapo. Not Elvis, but El Cheapo, basically. He was trying to screw Priscilla. Completely screw her. Because she's entitled to the world. She's the goddess of goddesses. Priscilla just wanted her fair share. It was the Colonel, Parker's idea, to sell his Cadillac in the 50s and 60s. So don't you lie and make Priscilla look bad. By the way, Elvis drank only spring water, nothing else. Never drank Coke, never drank Pepsi, never drank milk, never drank anything, never drank any alcohol, nothing at all. Drank bottles of spring water, and that's the only thing that went in his body. Okay, you're an expert. I love it. I believe it's called mountain spring water. If you're such an Elvis fan, you should know that you're just here to be a mini parent to Priscilla. I'm enjoying actually reading Lillian's comments. She is passionate. She is a Priscilla lover, a Priscilla defender. One thing I dislike about this book is it's called Child Bride because of the connotation that it implies. It's totally inaccurate, seeing that Priscilla was 21 when she married Elvis and certainly no child. And because it constantly gets regurgitated in the media, basically, they try to use it as basically evidence that Elvis was a groomer. You're always going to have just foolish people out there. And that's one of the things, too. I do agree with you. It shouldn't have been called Child Bride. It should have been entitled The Truth About Priscilla, kind of like my podcast is. Because that's true. It should have been called The Truth About Priscilla. She started writing it really to defend Priscilla, I think, and to find out some of the other stuff about Priscilla that we didn't know about because she was so private. And then she found out all this stuff. Hey, Teresa, yes, I heard the story. I cry every time I hear how kind and generous Elvis was. It's very sweet. You're definitely a true Elvis fan. And I appreciate seeing your comments all the time on here. And then we come back to Lillian Gilbert. Gilbert Godfrey, or whatever his name was. That's kind of what I just think she sounds like. It was the 33rd floor of the Hilton. There was no one on top. I can tell you by your goofy answers to yourself that I know more about Elvis than you do. So, listen, Lillian, if you're a true Elvis fan, then you're going to see the negative impact that Priscilla had on him. And if you refuse to read anything besides Elvis and Me, then that's your choice. But you're only seeing one side of the story written by one person with no sources. None. No sources, just herself. Everybody can lie. And that's what she's doing. I believe she's telling him his truth, allegedly, according to Child Bride, the book. Johnny's a beautiful person. Love his stories. Thank you for sharing them with us. I'm sure Johnny Lang appreciates that. He's a kind man. Loves Elvis. Doesn't do anything to damage Elvis's reputation like Priscilla does. And I say that because, once again, I love it. I love her little, and you don't sound anything like Elvis, by the way. Well, that's, you sound just like that according to me. Why wouldn't you say that what those guys really were? There were some tourists from Peru or something like that. Anyways, she's just continuing to try to flex her muscles. Thank you for being such amazing Elvis fans and loving Elvis and defending him. And, being able to see through the smoke and mirrors that the media puts out, including, the smear jobs in Elvis, which was the Priscilla movie, as well as the fact that even though it's great to see Elvis on screen for the Elvis 2022 Baz Luhrmann, I believe it shows very much a little bit more of a negative light, like a more of a depressive light for Elvis versus the joy that he put out there to his fans. So, TCB, TLC, till next time, this is Rare Elvis Photos. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. and hopefully your comment is featured in the next video.